Good morning and welcome to Morning Moments. I am so glad that you took the time to join us today. Today I have from Arkansas Regina Richardson. She is a author, and we got connected by a friend that connected us by another friend. And sometimes these God connections, I just can't explain it. They're wonderful. Regina, welcome to Morning Moments.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Well, let me ask you the question I ask everybody: what do you do, and why do you do it?
Well, I have been a cosmetologist for several years, and I also sell real estate. And I'm guessing that, God brought me into this because I love people. I have relationships with people, and I touch them, 5 minutes after I meet them. And I just love getting to know people and getting to help them with their walk with Jesus. I have written a book, and I'm guessing that that brought me just to a place through a relationship I had with a dear friend of mine, and, I wrote this children's book because of what happened to her. She was not a Christian, and, just our friendship brought her to that point. She had a child that, had never, walked or talked from a, Rett syndrome as she was born, and actually passed away when, she was 16. And my dear friend Kathy, she obviously had a very hard time getting over the death of her child. And so she had a vision, and the Lord showed her that her daughter was dancing in a tutu, and she was dancing. She couldn't figure out where or how, and she realized it was in the hands of Jesus. So I felt that the Lord told me, you need to write this down. And so as I wrote it down, it evolved into a book. And so I've written this children's book that we are all in God's hands. And we are living in a time right now that, to me, people need hope. And there's been a lot in the news about children and a lot of abuse about children and what happens in daily things from, you know, evil things that are going on in the world. And I had worked on this book for almost 3 years, and I just could not, it didn't seem to ever, there was never a good time. It just wasn't ever getting done. And I feel like the Lord has brought it to a timely, um, a time this year that it was relevant for letting parents know that no matter what's going on, that we are all in God's hands.
Yeah.
So,
Sometimes God gives us an idea and it doesn't happen all of a sudden. It
yes,
doesn't happen, but doesn't mean it's still not God. And God just says it's timing. The timing is so important, isn't it?
yes, yes. I felt like the scripture that I put on the back of the book was Psalms 139:16, and it said, "You saw me before I was born." Most people know this scripture. Every day of my life was recorded in your book, and every moment was laid out before a single day had passed. And again, that's a timing issue. God knows exactly what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, and whom it's going to happen for. And it goes back to those relationships of just building relationships and letting people know God has everything. Nothing is a surprise to him, and he has and holds everything in his hand and in his time.
I like what you said about nothing surprises him. When we talk about pandemics and wars and earthquakes and different things that goes on, and we wake up and look at the news in the morning, I've heard somebody say, when God looks at the news, you think he goes, "Well, I didn't see that coming. That's a big surprise."
Right.
So,
Right.
but he's in control. May not
Yeah,
feel like it, but he is in control. He sees the future when all we could see is the present or our past. But he
exactly.
looks at it in a different light. He sees what he has for us, what our potential is too.
Yes. Yes. And I just feel that through the book that hopefully it will make people realize that. It's just that, like you said, there's so much going on that just our day to day is so busy. We don't take the time a lot of times just to think that, you know, we think we're in control. You know,
Mhm.
it's almost like a spirit of pride where we don't think God's got this. We can do it. And especially as mothers, you know, with this children's book, but especially as mothers, and I, you know, have many, many stories about my life, my children, and just as a mother, we think we can handle, you know, we've got the best answer and the best source because we're the mother, we can fix everything, you know. But it's God that can fix everything. He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. He hasn't changed his mind. And we do have to just step out of the way and let him um, you know, be God and control the situation and not us. Let our pride get out of the way.
You've got your book right there, right?
Yes, I do.
Shows that cover there.
Yes, it says we are all in God's hands.
Hmm.
Yes.
Right.
There it is.
And that book can be found in a lot of different sources, Amazon and other places, right?
Yes, it can be found in Amazon, it can be found, in Barnes& and Noble.
What would you say to folks that are looking for their purpose and their plan? Is there anything that you could share about that journey that you've had?
Well, just seeking the Lord, you know, Matthew 6:33, you know, seek him first because he is the one with all the answers. He is the one with the perfect plan. And just like you had said before, get out of the way. Um, we never feel that. We always feel that we are searching, you know, and we are wondering and who can we call and what friend can we call and you know and or what news can we watch or what program or what prophet can we listen to, and it's not about that at all. It's about, you know, just get back down on your knees, you know, get back down to the basics, the foundations, the love of Christ, and seek him. Because, you know, once we have that foundation of just knowing his love is the end all, you know, and he has all the answers, you know, then you can share it. You know, it's really hard to share things when you don't know the love of God and you don't know how much he loves you and he has your answers, you know, and he has your friendships, he has your job, he has your children, you know, he has everything that we need, but we don't seek him. You know, we usually seek other things. And if we just get back to seeking him and his love, you know, the direction will come. You know, everything. That's what he says. He will add that all back to us. You know, but our first place is to seek him.
God knows your heart. It's up to us to hear his voice.
Yes.
And so when we say, God, I need to hear from you,
Yes.
it's not like he wants to keep
Oh,
his divine will and purpose away from us. It's not like it's this huge secret,
right.
but we do need to seek him, because within the seeking him, there's something that changes within us.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, the power of God, you know, his presence will come, you know, he'll make his ways, his secrets known to us, you know, just the treasure that he wants to give us. He will make that known to us. He'll manifest himself to us. You know, what is it? Jeremiah 33:3 says, call upon me,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, and it's just there's so much direction in the word that tells us to seek him, call upon him, you know, he's going to be right there to meet us, but we're running around seeking everything else. You know, it's just get back to the basic and seek him, you know. So
Years of children's ministry, I used to tell the kids that's God's telephone number, Jeremiah 33:3.
really,
Call upon him.
I love that. I love that.
So
You know,
you could call upon him anytime, and you know always going to be there. He's never busy.
absolutely. Yeah. And manifest himself to us,
You
you
know,
know.
when I looked at your background with the curtain, and I think of the illustration that somebody told me years ago, and I may have shared it on other interviews, but I think I'll share it today too. Is that when we walk through life, it's like this veil, like this curtain behind this beautiful curtain that you have behind you. We walked with this curtain in front of us, and sometimes we can see 10, 20, 50 feet ahead of us, and other times all we could see is the veil,
Right.
but we keep walking towards the veil because we know who's on the other side.
Yes.
And
Mhm.
although we may not know
Mhm.
what's on the other side, I keep walking towards the one who has the answer
Yes.
and is the answer.
Mhm.
Jesus doesn't just have the answer, folks. He is the answer. No
Yes.
matter what the question is, he is the answer. As long as I'm going towards that voice,
Mhm.
I know that he will never lead me astray. He's got a plan for
Mhm.
us to prosper, plan
Yes.
for us to grow, and sometimes that plan gets out of our own comfort zone, doesn't it?
Yes, that's faith. You
Yes.
know, that's faith. We just have to continue and not stop. Just continue. Because, obviously we're living in a day. I believe the wealth of the wicked is being, laid up for the just. And I believe this, that we're very close to that, that we're not just going to be walking and walking and walking. We're here for change. We're here for kingdom businesses, just kingdom things that are going to come to fruition more, more and more and more. I think the time is close for his return, and he's ready to turn this thing around so that the kingdom, and Jesus can be glorified at this time.
Yes.
You know? So
Amen.
that's faith to keep walking.
Absolutely. I want you to check out the sites. Some of you need to go ahead and get this book for your children or even your grandchildren. Check it out.
Yeah.
That you need to pass this on to them. That's a message they need to hear. Uh, Follow with what God has for Regina. But when we close this interview, take a few minutes right now. Whenever you've heard this interview, take time right now and pray for Regina.
Thank you.
Regina needs your prayers, folks, and you need to practice. So pray that God would richly bless her
Thank
in
you.
everything that she does. Thank you, Regina, for joining us for Morning Moments today.
Thank you. I appreciate it so much.
Thank you for joining us. And if you would, keep coming back for some more morning moments, and may God richly bless you.